We're going to talk about how to hook up the ITC-1000 temperature controller for homebrew and other applications. As you can see, the ITC-1000 has a brain, that is a microprocessor, connected to a temperature sensor and two different switches. For a refrigeration option only, you don't need the heat switch, you could only use the cool switch to turn the refrigerator on and off. The key about this is that there's isolation between the brain and the switch. As you can see, that makes connecting it easier. Here's the box for the ITC-1000 and what's in it. There's the main unit, the so-called brain and temperature sensor, as well as a manual, which is a bit difficult to understand. Here's the wiring diagram on the unit itself, and you can see there's a connection between 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. Another way to hook it up is to not use that connection. So here's what we're going to do. Power to the brain is isolated from the power to heat or cool. We propose that you use two different cords. Power to the brain can come from one plug, and the cool switch can be hooked up into a loop with the refrigerator using a second cord. This can be done pretty inexpensively. An old lamp cord you can probably find around for free. You can get a short three-prong extension cord from Harbor Freight for under $6. You start with a lamp cord and you strip the two ends to expose the copper. Using wire strippers is best. And then you could use a knife or some other tool to strip away the center portion of the three-prong extension to expose the black conductor, which is hot. And you can see here we're cutting that and stripping it to open that connection. That's where the switch will be connected inside of the ITC-1000. We take the back panel off of the ITC-1000 to expose the connections. They actually are screw-type clamp connections. You can unscrew the screws a bit in order to leave space for your connections. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the power to the brain with the lamp cord. I'm going to take the two stripped ends of the lamp cord and hook it up onto connections 1 and 2. This is all that the brain needs for power, and for other applications you wouldn't necessarily hook up any additional 110 volt current. You could use that switch, the switches inside of the unit, to control really anything. So now you can see we're actually hooking up the brain's power to the lamp cord, and we clamp it down with the screw connectors. If you plug the unit in now, it would work, and you'd be able to watch its operation. Obviously, it's not controlling anything yet. We're going to now hook up the temperature sensor. Those go to connections 3 and 4 on the back panel. So the unit that's connected right now would work just fine. You now have to hook up something else, obviously, that is going to control, in this case, a refrigerator. So we're not going to hook up at all connections 5 and 6. That's for the heat control. My application is only to control a refrigerator, so we're going to hook up connections 7 and 8, and what we're doing is we're hooking it up to each side of the black conductor of the three-prong extension cord. So the cool switch inside of the ITC-1000 is going to turn on and off that extension cord. And so you can obviously hook a refrigerator or other cooling unit onto that. Here's some black tape that's just used to replace the insulator that we cut off of the the center of the extension cord just for safety purposes. Probably do a neater job than this. And then we can hook up the back panel. We can just put the back panel on. The unit is now completely connected, as you can see, pretty easy and efficient. We're going to plug it in. So now we've just plugged in the so-called brain. We can program it now. Out of the box, it actually works on degrees centigrade, but you can reprogram it for degrees Fahrenheit here in North America. You can then plug in the extension cord, and you could plug in your refrigerator to the other end of the extension cord that's now being switched by the brain. Here's the unit in operation. You can see this is a small refrigerator with some homebrew beer.